Welcome back to The Light Within. I'm your host, Pema C. This is the space where we slow down, breathe a little deeper, and sit with the stories that awaken something inside us. Today's guest is someone whose presence feels like a gentle prayer. Ani Pema Deki is the founder of Open Your Heart to Bhutan, a compassionate initiative that has transformed the lives of children and communities across our country. Her path is one of quiet service, deep devotion, and an open heart that keeps giving. Through her work, she reminds us that compassion is not an act, it's a way of life. And in her journey, we find a reflection of the light that exists in all of us. I'm honored to have you, Anila. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pema. Yeah, it's lovely to be here. And thank you for those lovely words. It's always good to be reminded that we have a light within that it's already awakened, but it needs to increase and shine for everyone. I think it's a very useful message to hear as often as possible, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes, La. Thank you. We just sometimes forget that the light within exists, and we just want somebody to kind of remind us. La.
Yeah, and also if we forget it, which we all do at times when life becomes too hard, then somehow our confidence in our own self, our capacity to make a difference in this world, all of that shrinks away, you know. So I think if we can always start, before we start criticizing, we see our faults, we see our mistakes. If we can just remember to ground ourselves in that light within, we start from such a different place every day, isn't it?
Yes, La. Yes, La. Thank you, La. Thank you so much. Anila, I would firstly ask you if you could introduce yourself to my viewers here, La.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. So, yeah, as you said, I am Ani Pema Deki, or you can call me Gelungma. Gelungma. So I'm a fully ordained nun in the Draktso tradition.
Yes.
But of course, I didn't start out that way. That's pretty obvious when you look at me.
Yes.
So I'm also known by my Western name, Emma Slade. Yes. So I went from being Emma to being Pema.
Oh, yes, and it rhymes.
And so I am running 60 now. And I am obviously a nun, a meditator, a founder of the charity, as you mentioned, and hopefully a nice, friendly human being.
Oh, that, Anila, is definitely the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes that we spend right now. It's just made me feel very, a sense of peace. Anila, you really have something in you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's such an honor to have you. Thank you so much. Anila, if I may ask you, how was your childhood like? And did you have like maybe some spiritual kind of, your family members who were spiritually inclined, or how was it?
Wow, yeah, my childhood was a long time ago and a long way away from here. Yes. Yeah, because I was born by the sea in England. So I was born at 0 degrees altitude.
Yes.
Yeah. I was born into a house with a lying Buddha. And many Buddhist not relics, but Buddhist things in it from my grandfather. And so I think that was very interesting. And as a young child, I saw that lying Buddha, and I insisted to my mother that it come and be in my room so that I could see it when I fell asleep. And it's still the Buddha now, which is on my shrine. And from an early age, I refused to eat meat, to eat animals. Yeah, I was very stubborn about this as a child, actually. And which also came from my grandmother, who saved a lot of animals in her time and did things like this. So I think there were some strands there, that we can see. But of course, I was born in England, and so I wasn't born into a Buddhist culture. So I had a journey to go on to get to where I am now, you can say.
How about Anila's education and your career before you took this path?
Yeah. I was considered quite intelligent at one point. I mean, it's diminished greatly now. But at one point, I was considered quite intelligent. So I actually got an unconditional place to Cambridge University, which is quite rare, actually, to be frank. So that my parents were very proud of that. And I've done a lot of education.
Nice.
I really like learning stuff.
Nice.
So, I did a lot of study in many different subjects, actually. I like knowing about a lot of things.
Yes.
And I like connecting one thing with the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting.
But when my father died when I was relatively young. I was still at university. Then I had this strong feeling that, especially for the sake of my mother, that I had to kind of grow up and stop just being a student, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that's when I had the opportunity to go into investment and finance.
Yes.
And because I have a big level of energy, I have a big drive in me,
Nice.
And so that combination of that energy and that inquiring mind, I think they thought would be very helpful for them. And so I worked in investment in New York and Hong Kong and London for quite a few years. And so that was the beginning of my life as an adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Anila, when you were at the peak of your career with such an intelligent mind, I would say, Anila, you were very inquisitive and you really wanted to learn and you were at the peak of your career. What made you choose this life?
Yeah, so I think I did quite well, especially as a female.
Yes, love.
At the time, I was in investment in, sort of high-flying investment roles. I was often the only female in the room,
That's so amazing.
So it was that situation where you really had to prove yourself.
Yes, love.
In finance, And so I had to work very hard, and I had to pass a lot of exams, which luckily I did, etc. And so you can say that, like now, when I sit here now, it's so funny, Pema, because there's a whole nother path of my life where I would have been like a very rich CEO at this point.
Exactly. That's what I was
with like
hinting.
a penthouse in Manhattan or something, I don't know what, and shoes and clothes. And, it's so strange because I see these people on, I don't know, Facebook or something, I think, wow, that could have been you with those perfect makeup and maybe having Botox now. I don't know what, It's kind of extraordinary to think of the path that could have been.
Could have
right?
been, yes.
But, I had this incident which kind of, I think, awakened everything that had been there in my childhood, really. And so I was, I had to go to Indonesia, Jakarta, on a business trip. We had a lot of investments in Indonesia in the 1990s. We had a lot of investments there. And, I was staying in a very nice hotel, but there was a tap at the door of my hotel room. And I just, without thinking, I just opened the door, as you do. And strangely enough, there was a man there with a gun in his hand, right? And before I had even really, you were sort of in a state of shock, right?
Yes.
Because you just don't expect that in a 5-star hotel.
Yes.
Come on,
Yeah.
And so he pushed the gun into the center of my chest, and the force of it pushed me back into the room, and then the door closed,
Yes.
right? And so then I had this situation where I was trapped in this room with this man with the gun. Actually, it turned out I'm not even sure how long it was. It was light when he came because there was light in the windows. And at the end of it, it was very late in the evening and it was dark outside, right? Anyway, so I had this very unfortunate incident, really, of being held at gunpoint. And that was a very life-changing experience for me in lots of different ways. And I think it took a lot of time to recover from.
Yes.
But it was the thing that when I survived it, it makes you like, okay, are you doing the right thing with your life? Are you just, you've survived this now. Now what is your life going to look like? Just, are you on the right path? And I think from there, although it was quite a long time before I became a Buddhist nun, I think from there gradually everything started to turn in a different direction for me. Or you could say, I suppose it started to find the path it was always meant to be on, which is probably what I feel like now.
Yes.
But it was a big experience to have to go through.
Yes.
Yeah, to get there. Yeah. Yes. And it felt very karmic, I have to say. I can say that here in Bhutan, right? If I say that other places, people won't get it, right?
Yes, yes.
But I don't know what karma was being sorted out at that time, but something was seriously being sorted out.
Yes. So how long after that incident did you kind of internally face the trauma that you experienced? Well, how long did you actually take to kind of maybe get over the trauma that you experienced in Indonesia?
Yeah, it's taken quite a while. It didn't happen instantaneously.
Yes.
So I got something called severe post-traumatic stress disorder. And so I'm the kind of person that doesn't give up.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
That's definitely my personality.
We can definitely see that.
So I went back to Hong Kong and I just thought, come on, let's go. This is not going to defeat me. It's not going to whatever. But I think the extent of the trauma was much greater than I'd realized. And so I started to experience flashbacks in my daily life. I don't know if have you ever experienced a flashback?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just explain to people what that is, because it sounds like a bad memory or something, right? But it's not really a bad memory. What happens is your whole body and all of your senses repeat what's happened, right? So I would be in the office and I would be able to smell his skin.
Oh, yes, love.
And I would be able to hear his footsteps coming towards me, right? And my heart rate would just race, right? And I would start sweating just like that, right? And I'm sitting in this, fancy desk in Hong Kong, and I've got my Bloomberg screens and I've got all my financial screens, flashing away. And inside, I'm just absolutely back in that room with him, right? So there's nothing you can do about that. Like, you can't, no matter how much you go away, don't do this to me, don't, I'm just going to close my eyes and not think about it. Something about the trauma is so strong that it just takes you over. You can't push it away, right?
Yes.
So this started to happen to me, and I really couldn't stop it. And it started to happen day and night.
Yes.
And so that was very, very challenging. And so that went on for quite a long time. And of course, you always feel like I felt confused about what was happening. I also felt some degree of shame.
Yes.
And I also felt some kind of guilt because my hostage taker, the man with the gun, had been taken to an Indonesian jail after the incident. And I knew that. Mm-hmm. And I knew that his life at that point would be worse than mine. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to kind of say that this was hard because I'd survived it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So there were a lot of complicated things going on. It seems mad now I talk about it. My life now is so simple. But at that time, there was so much going on for me. It's hard to imagine now, as I sit here as a nun,
Yes,
But so eventually I returned to England, and I had some specialist help with people who had helped other people who had been held captive by other people.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's kind of a special thing because when you're held captive by somebody with a gun at your head, they determine whether you live or die. And that has a kind of a particular impact on a person, right? So they helped me a lot, mentally, emotionally, to process what had happened.
Yes.
Because it turns out that these flashbacks occur when you haven't properly processed everything that's happened. Because you've been overloaded with all this trauma, from different senses, what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're smelling. It's like an overload to your senses, right?
Yes,
so you haven't really processed it. So they helped me process it. But some of my physical reactions remained for quite a long time after that. And even now, to be honest, if somebody comes up very fast behind me and
afraid.
That is difficult. It's still difficult for me.
Yes.
Apart from that, I'm pretty much there. But I think we shouldn't underestimate the time that recovering from such trauma can take.
Yes.
But I've done really well. I know for some people, recovering from trauma is extremely difficult, and sometimes their trauma defines their whole life. And I feel that whilst this happened to me, it happened to me quite a while ago now.
Yes.
And I think it's defined my life in the sense that I may not have become a Buddhist nun without it. But I think in some other ways, what I'm doing now in Bhutan, what I've become, the work with the charity, I think that's far more what defines me now.
Yes. So Anila would say that what happened in Jakarta in that hotel room was most probably the first time you felt the calling to take the spiritual path. Would you say that?
No, I think as a child, with the Buddha, and then I meditated a lot as a child.
Yes.
I asked my mother to get me some books on Buddhism. I had one book on Buddhism.
So it started from when you were a young girl.
Yeah. Yes. I had one book on Buddhism with a brown cover and a picture of a Buddha on the front, right?
Yes,
because in England in the 1970s, it wasn't easy to find books about Buddhism in our local library, right?
Yes,
in our little
yes,
town, right? So no, I think certainly the interest in meditation was very strong in me from an early age.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have to grow up, and I had to grow up. I had to get a job. I had to take care of myself,
Yes.
and then those interests, they had to wait for a while.
Yes. But that's really interesting. It's really interesting that it's always been within you since a little girl in England, in a maybe a small town.
Yes.
And you were into meditation and all that. So that's really amazing, Anila.
Yeah, my mother called it my quiet time. In fact, she didn't really like it very much because she didn't quite understand why I kept wanting to separate myself away and sit quietly. Actually, I found out later she wasn't very happy about it. But I did have that feeling as like an essential thing. I had a feeling it's an essential thing.
Yes, to step back and to quieten the mind. Anila, now coming back to the very interesting question, Anila, what is Anila's purpose, la?
What is my purpose?
We just discussed this.
It's such a big word, isn't it? It's such a big word. Well, I mean, luckily, I don't have to come up with an answer for that because, it's all in the decisions to be a Buddhist nun, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So whatever angle of Dharma we look at, whatever facet we look, we'll find the same thing, right? Which is to reduce the harm,
Yes.
Increase the goodness in helping others, and to tame our mind, right? So I don't have to think about it because we know that's the purpose, right? Yes. The only question there is, remaining question there is exactly how do I do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. But for me as a Buddhist nun, I don't have to sit around thinking, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? Thank goodness. Yeah.
Yes, last. Thank you so much. Me as, a very ignorant person, while I'm looking at Anila and having read a lot about Anila and watching your TED Talk and all that, for me, when I look at Anila, I feel that your purpose is to serve others. And this is why now my next question is, open your heart to Bhutan.
Yes. Yeah.
When did you start it? Why did you start it? And why Bhutan? Of all the countries in the world.
I do really like helping other people. Nice. I do really like it. And I've got the kind of energy and the fearlessness to help other people, right? Yeah, it is to be of service to people, but I feel a bit like shy to use that term. It sounds a bit grand, right? But I do just like to help people because I feel I have a lot of energy and I have a good mind and I have a strong sense that helping people is something I can do, but there are many, many ways to help people.
Yes.
So I never thought I'd found a charity. I mean, I never thought I'd become a Buddhist nun, let alone found a charity. But I was doing the nungdro, the preliminary practices. And I was doing the mandala offerings, 110,000 mandala offerings. And that had a big impact on me, I think. And I happened to be in Meritsimo in Chukazonka. Yeah. And one monk had asked me to go down there and see the situation, see if I could help at all. And I think it was on my second or third visit down there, I met a girl called Nakum.
Yes.
Yeah. And in meeting her, she was 19 at the time, and she found it difficult to leave her family home. It was a very simple, rural family home. She found it difficult to leave her home because she'd had difficulty walking. Yes. And, we always talk about causes and conditions and karma ripening and tenjel and all these kind of things, and it's sitting with her where something arose in me that I thought I can do something to help here, right?
Yes.
And then, so she's really the inspiration for the charity.
That was my next question.
Yeah, she's really the inspiration for it. So, we just have to hope that we stumble across circumstances which, like you say, ignite your light within, right? That's what happened at that time. It ignites the light within, and then you think, and I can act now. Yes. I know I have a talent that can help in this situation. I'm sure I can, right?
Yes.
And so that's really what happened there. And that's really where a few months later, so I started to do things, but I didn't formally launch a charity because actually founding a charity is quite a lot of work.
Yes.
You need trustees, you need accounts, you need a lot of things, right? But so at first I just gathered money from people. I brought things to Bhutan. I went to Meritsimo. I used my own money. I sold any remaining things I had. Like I had some quite fancy clothes and I still had a bit of jewelry, and I sold them all for the charity. Not for the charity, but for helping Meritsimo. And then I started to think, maybe I can really found an actual organization here, Yes. And so then I did that, and that was founded about 10 years ago now.
Yes.
And we've helped in rural areas in Bhutan, particularly with any kind of children who maybe can't access school easily or they have special needs, etc. And so that's what we've done. And I named the charity Opening Your Heart to Bhutan because it's about opening your own heart. I didn't want to have a charity like Bhutan is really poor in rural areas, please help. I wanted to have a charity which is about realize what happens to you as the donor when you help. And so this is about what happens to the very person who gives that support or that money. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, La. Thank you so much. I am pretty sure that Anila has transformed many lives, including that of Nakum's, who is the inspiration.
Yeah. I mean, to a certain extent, but the thing we know, if you study the parameter of generosity, for example, the problem about the first type of generosity, material generosity, is it needs to be a constant stream.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
That's the thing. So we can help, we can transform. But some of these needs, they're ongoing.
Yes, la.
So we can't say, oh, it's transformed, it's done.
Yes.
If only.
Yes.
If only we only had to eat one meal and then we're full for the rest of our life.
Yes.
But it's not like that, is it?
Exactly.
So maybe transformed a bit, but there's always work to be done.
Yes. La. Is there any story that has really moved you to the core, la?
In the time I've been doing the charity?
Yes, la.
I think, there was a girl, a young teenager that I met in, and I may not say the word right, so forgive me, in Tashigang, in a place called Sailing.
Yes,
Do you know?
yes.
Sorry for my accent. And she had been born without, so her eyelids can't open.
Oh.
Okay, so she had been born in that way, and that was very hard meeting her. And of course, tough as it is to say, and I think you understand it now. I think Bhutan is beginning to understand now how dangerous it is for pregnant women to take any kind of alcohol.
Oh.
And it's highly likely that this kind of situation was caused by, fetal poisoning of the fetus through alcohol. So I think that I talked to the mother and, she hadn't known about the alcohol, so I'm not kind of inventing it. But so I think, you see this terrible suffering, and then there's this pain that if there hadn't been alcohol drunk, it may not have been this way. The burden for the mother, which remains, the suffering of the child, that really, that was just seemed tragic, really, really tragic. And so I think Bhutan understands this now, the danger of drinking, especially this very strong alcohol for a pregnant woman. And that was a tough moment. Then at the other extreme, we had an amazing boy. He was about 13 at the Draktso school in the east, and he had a problem with his legs, and he was just used to walking on his knees because of it. And the lower part of his legs would kind of fold back, like up by his thigh. I mean, incredible. Anyway, we had one of our main donors came to see the school in the east, and they made some incredible videos of him playing football and cricket and whatever. Anyway, so this kind of went viral. Yes. And the Special Olympic Committee, or the Paralympic Committee, something like that here, saw it, and he now is being taken to train for the Paralympics. So, I mean,
wow.
So there's been moments where you feel the truth of suffering so strongly, and then there's moments where you have these incredible transformatory stories, and you see both in the time that you do something like run a charity like this. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Anila. As Anila mentioned, that this it's an ongoing project. It's like you can't eat one meal a day and you're done for life. And you're known for your strength and your compassion. What are some quiet struggles that you face, or could be, I wish that could be done? And how can us as our viewers or the citizens of Bhutan be of help to lighten that load of that struggle?
No. I mean, I think I said about the alcohol. I think Bhutan is developing now with its hospitals and its pregnancy care and pregnancy and birthing conditions. All of these are very important in terms of lowering the number of children that are born with some kind of special needs. cerebral palsy, etc., is only as a result of oxygen lack at birth, right? It's not hereditary. It's not caused by a germ. It's to do with that. So I think Bhutan is definitely heading in the right direction there. I think the thing about working with special needs children is it's very confronting for people.
Yes.
It's very confronting for people because we're, hold on a sec, what's going on there? What's happening, right? They're kind of walking weirdly or they're talking weirdly, right? So we have this very kind of response. So the smallest thing you can do is just try and stay calm and smile.
Yes.
I feel that special needs children are probably children who are the least unsmiled at in their life. So I feel be calm. Even if you don't understand what's going on, smile. It's such a human thing. And they may not have had many smiles in their life. Yeah. So I think that's a simple thing. Obviously, if anybody wants to help in their local community in any way, or they can help Draktso, they can help Ability Bhutan, they can help the parental organization helping children with special needs. They can certainly help, our organization. But everybody has, a lot to do. I don't want to burden anybody with doing more maybe than they're already doing. So maybe start with the smiling and, we can go from there.
Yes. So if there was one message to the Bhutanese viewers, especially relating to your charity program, what would that be?
One message?
Yes, one message.
About what?
Your charity. Open your heart to Bhutan. And also, if there is any way we can support, Anila can kind of mention, besides the smiling, that I'm sure we'll all do now that Anila has asked us to.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, the message of, the message, I guess, there's so many messages, I don't know what to say, really. I would encourage people to remember that they are more amazing than they think they are. They can have a bigger impact than they think they can. They can help more than they would dream of. So I think if they think in that way and they read the text of what it is to be a bodhisattva, then easily things will come to their mind on how they can help, whether it's me or somebody else, it's that's what I can say at the moment. And people can always contact me if they want to help at all. They can contact Ugen Sering, our charity representative here. We'll always be helping in Bhutan. So,
Thank you, La. Thank you so much, Anila, for your time, for your insight, for your wisdom. I really appreciate it, La. And like I mentioned, La Anila, there is something about you, something so beautiful and so calming. And thank you so much for all that you do for Bhutan, for Draktso, for everyone that you meet, La Anila. And it's just a very huge honor to be having Anila here on my
really
show.
Kind of you. No, that's absolutely very kind of you to. It's very kind of you to, invite me, and I'm just doing my best, but I'm not perfect.
Yes.
I, like anyone, have a long way to go, and so we're in this together, trying to move. All of us trying to fully awaken the light within.
Thank you.
I'm the same as you. We're all like that.
Oh, thank you, La. Thank you. Thank you so much, La Anila. Open Your Heart to Bhutan isn't just an initiative. It's a gentle reminder that we all have the power to bring light into someone's life. And I request all my viewers, if we can all come together and support the initiative Open Your Heart to Bhutan by Ani Pema Deki, La. May the light you seek always guide you, and may the light you carry guide others. Until next time, keep glowing, keep growing. Thank you very much.